Good morning, welcome to another hiking adventure. In uncharacteristic fashion, I'm on the west side of the Sierra today, and the goal is going to be to hike the Three Sisters, which is an SPS peak a little north of Fresno. I parked at Courtright Reservoir, the Cliff Lake Trailhead, and I am currently hiking into the Dinkey Lakes Wilderness. Never been here before, really looking forward to it, and I'm really excited to see some of my favorite big high peaks from the west instead of the east side, so it's going to be really cool. Come along for the adventure. The air is nice and dry. Feels great to be back in the mountains. Dinkey Lakes Wilderness, Sierra National Forest. Never been here before. It's gonna be fun. At the four-way trail junction where you can pick, you go to Helms Meadow, Cliff Lake, or the Nelson Lakes. I'm going to continue on to Cliff Lake. Probably gonna leave the trail just before the lake and head up cross country to get to Three Sisters. Going through a little burned area. Looks like quite the fire. So we're about an hour and a half and just under 5 miles in. I think this is going to be where I leave the trail. Gonna head cross country somewhere through there. Gonna start gaining, but the peak's actually pretty close. So I'm looking forward to getting there soon. So far this hasn't been too bad. A lot of slab walking. I'll take solid to loose any day. And it's really not that steep. So I'm almost enjoying the cross country travel. That's our first view of the objective. That's Three Sisters right there. Probably gonna go pretty much straight on. Probably gonna hit that ridge a little left of the summit and then just ride it to the top. That's Courtright Reservoir right there. Starting to see some of the high peaks poking through. But in the foreground, I can see all these granite domes. This area is known for having some really good climbing that falls kind of under the radar. And I can definitely see why. This is really cool. It's kind of like Tuolumne with a little less density. So I believe that is the summit ridge right there. Don't have too much more to go. Just gotta pick through some boulders before we get up there, and it should be smooth sailing to the top. I think that right there is the summit, and all that's separating me from that is a little bit of this ridge, which looks a lot of fun. Let's get there. I see a benchmark, and if you go a little further, that to me looks like a summit register. Yeehaw! And we got a high point with another benchmark. Rad, we made it. Beautiful. Summit of Three Sisters. This is my 40th SPS peak and my 51st Sierra summit. Really happy to be here. So here we are on the summit of Three Sisters, and this is both really cool and really discombobulating. It's really cool because I can see so many peaks, but it's really discombobulating because I'm so used to seeing them from the east. Then on the west, everything just looks backwards. So I'm gonna try my best to name what I can see, and if I'm wrong, please just let me know in the comments. Right now, we're looking pretty much due north. We can actually see some of Yosemite National Park. If you can see those snowy peaks on the left, one of those is gonna be Mount Lyell, the highest point in Yosemite. Looking a little more to the right now, the big dark peak where you can still see a little bit of snow, that is Mount Ritter, and you can see Mount Banner kind of hiding behind. Keep swinging more to the east. I can see San Joaquin Mountain as well as Mammoth Mountain Ski Resort. That big peak in the center is Red and White Mountain and McGee Pass. Looking through here, I can see what I believe is Mount Julius Caesar, Bear Creek Spire, and Mount Abbott. And then you have kind of the whole like Feather Peak, Seven Gables, Miriam Royce, all of that. See the very characteristic Mount Humphreys summit. So probably you have like Basin and Tom off to the left. Then we keep going, flat top, gotta be Mount Darwin. And then that big one right here is Mount Goddard. Mount Goddard is an amazing peak. I'm really, really sad I have not gotten to the top of it. I'm sure the view there is incredible because you can see Mount Goddard from everywhere. I'm sure from the top of Mount Goddard, you can see everything. Then we keep swinging that last peak. I'm not entirely sure. My only guess is Split Mountain. And then as we go, start looking a little further south, got some fog, some haze rolling in, unfortunately, but I believe we can probably see the Great Western Divide. And that's what we can see. Beautiful, beautiful place to be. Love the High Sierra, love all these peaks. Love, love being in the mountains. Snacks have been eaten, the summit has been enjoyed. And I'm gonna head over there to that little bump, which is called Dogtooth Peak, for a little bonus before I head back to the car. Heading down the north face, it's pretty steep, but not that bad. We are dropping like it's hot. So much granite, and it's so beautiful. Love me some slab walking. So we briefly crossed the established trail, and now we are heading toward Dogtooth Peak. There's supposed to be a trail, but I have yet to find it, despite the GPS saying I'm right on it. But this isn't too bad. Just gonna kind of contour around, miss this bump. And once I get around this corner, the peak should be pretty visible, and it should be a really fast, just like 100 feet of vert. Bag it and tag it. There's Dogtooth. Gonna head right up in between those two bumps and hit that summit on the right. Some quartz right here. I can see a few more deposits around. I wonder what this is from. Kind of cool. The summit is right up there. I'm kind of picking my way up these rock ramps, trying to keep it class 2. Might have to do a little class 3, but that's not that big of a deal. This is the last little bit to the summit. Definitely going to be 3rd class, but it looks really solid, safe, and secure, so I'm not that worried about it. Can't wait to be up there. So after coming up this way, doing all the 3rd class, thinking I was right next to the summit, I pop out and find out that's actually the summit. But I can probably get down through there and then go around the corner. It actually looks pretty friendly, so I'm not that worried. Next stop, the real summit. Here we are on the summit of Dogtooth Peak. Glad to actually get up here. I almost turned around, but I'm happy to be here. Once again, we got plenty of beautiful high peaks off in the distance. In the foreground, the closest false summit is the one that I was standing on that I thought was the real summit. Then there's that other one from the back. To the right of those summits is kind of the way I came. I'll hit the trail pretty soon, and you can probably see Cliff Lake in the background. I'm gonna hike around Cliff Lake and then start heading down because I parked over there near the reservoir. Found the quartz. Not quite a crystal crag amount, but still a fair amount. I think this last little bit here is going to be the end of my talus hopping for the season. Once again, it's kind of November. It's getting a little chilly. I don't have very many more weekends where I could even hike, so I think this is going to be the end. And that means this is the end of the talus zone. I think I'm going to miss it, which I'm really surprised about, but I'm sure come May I'll start cursing it once again when we try to hit some mountains. This is so glorious. It doesn't get much nicer than this. I love the Sierra Nevada so much. Easy cross-country travel because the trees are spaced out. Dry, beautiful weather. Doesn't get any better than this. I love these mountains. This looks like a trail if I've ever seen one. That means the cross-country portion of this trip is done. We got a lot of downhill, about 300 feet of ascent. Hopefully going to be jogging and moving fast on the way back to the car. Back to the burn. This is really bad. We will see you next time, Dinkey Lakes Wilderness. You're a beautiful area. Home stretch, last mile. Of course it's uphill, which is a bit of a killer. We'll make it. Still feeling pretty good. And just like that, we are back out of the parking lot. Great, great day. So as I'm back in the parking lot, I think we'll bring this video to a close. Really, really fun day. Loved being back in the mountains. Loved seeing some of those high peaks once again. It came in at about 15 miles and probably about 3,000 feet of gain. And it took me about 6 hours and 20 minutes, so I'm really happy with that. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit that subscribe button if you like outdoor California adventure content like this, as I got a lot more on the way, and I hope to see you on another adventure.